I can make you win." The coach laughed until he saw the boy do the unthinkable. Michael Thompson was at the lowest point of his coaching career. His youth team had lost 3 consecutive state championships, and the players' parents were already questioning his methods. The pressure from the club was so intense that he knew another loss would mean the end of everything he had built over the past 15 years. Then, a boy appeared at the gym door, holding an old, deflated basketball. Michael looked at him with disdain, noticing his faded clothes and worn-out sneakers. "What do you want here, kid?" Michael asked, not hiding the irritation in his voice. "I can help you win the state championship," the boy said with a confidence that contrasted with his humble appearance. Michael's laughter echoed through the entire gym. The players who were training stopped to see what was happening. Tyler, the team captain and best player, approached with a mocking smile. "You hear that? The street kid wants to teach us basketball," Tyler said, drawing laughter from the other boys. Michael kept laughing, pointing at the barefoot boy. "You don't even have shoes and you want to teach me how to win? Get out of here before I call security." "Give me a chance," the boy insisted, gripping the deflated ball tightly. "Just one opportunity to prove myself." "A chance?" Michael thought for a moment, then a sly grin spread across his face. "Fine. If you can beat Tyler in a free throw contest, I'll listen to you. But when you lose, you leave and never come back." Tyler let out a loud laugh. "This is going to be too easy, coach. I make 8 out of 10 free throws." The boy nodded, accepting the challenge. "What's your name?" Michael asked. "Jamal Johnson," the boy replied. "All right, Jamal. Let's see what you got." Michael called the other players to watch what he called the humiliation show. Jamal stepped up to the free throw line and began warming up. On purpose, he missed every shot. The ball hit the side of the rim, sailed over the backboard, or didn't even come close. "Look at this!" Michael shouted. "The prodigy can't even hit the rim during warm-ups." The laughter grew louder. Jamal kept missing intentionally, feeding Tyler's confidence and Michael's arrogance. Some players pulled out their phones to record, planning to mock him on social media. "Enough warm-up," Michael said. "Let's get this over with. 5 shots each. Whoever makes the most wins." Jamal nodded and took his position. He took a deep breath, aimed and shot. The ball traced a perfect arc and swished through the net without touching the rim. Silence fell over the gym. "Beginner's luck," Tyler muttered, but he no longer looked so sure. Jamal made the second shot, then the third, the fourth and the fifth, all perfect, each more impressive than the last. Tyler stepped up to the line, already sweating nervously. He made the first 4 shots, but was visibly shaken. On the 5th and decisive attempt, the ball hit the rim and bounced out. Jamal had won 5-4. Michael's face burned with anger and shame. How had his best player lost to some barefoot kid? "This proves nothing," Michael said, trying to maintain authority. "Free throws are basic. How about a real game, 1-on-1? "I accept," Jamal replied simply. "No, even better." Michael was too angry to think straight. "You against 5, against the whole starting lineup. If you're really that good, it shouldn't be a problem." The players exchanged surprised glances. Even for Michael, this seemed excessive. "Coach, don't you think that's too much?" Marcus, another player, asked. "Let him learn who's in charge here," Michael replied. Jamal agreed to the proposal without hesitation. The 5 starters positioned themselves on the court, still somewhat in disbelief at the situation. The game began, and Jamal took the ball. Instead of trying to score right away, he started dribbling back and forth, making his opponents chase after him without being able to steal the ball. It was like he was playing with 5 little kids. "Get him!" Michael shouted from the sidelines. But Jamal was as slippery as a snake. He dribbled between legs behind his back, changed direction with such ease that it left the boys dizzy. For the first 10 minutes, he didn't even attempt a shot. He just wore out his opponents, who ran desperately after him. By the time the 5 were panting, Jamal finally went on the attack. He sank a 3-pointer from an impossible spot, nearly mid-court. Then another, this time with his back to the basket, and one more, shooting between his legs. Each shot drew gasps of surprise from the few people in the gym. In 15 minutes, Jamal had scored 20 points against his opponent's 0. Michael stood frozen, witnessing a display of skill he'd never seen in his 20 years as a coach. That's when he heard a voice behind him. Interesting what's happening here. Michael turned and saw Mrs. Roberts, his mother and owner of the gym, watching the game intently. "Mom, what are you doing here?" "I came to bring some documents you forgot at home," she replied, her eyes never leaving Jamal. "But what a talented boy. He reminds me of someone." Jamal stopped playing when he saw the elderly woman approaching. His expression changed completely, as if he'd seen a ghost. "Mrs. Roberts," he said, his voice shaky. "Jamal. Little Jamal." She stepped closer, studying his face. "My God, you're Faith's son." Michael watched the scene, confused. How did his mother know this kid? "Faith worked here cleaning about 10 years ago," Mrs. Roberts explained to her son. "Jamal always came with her and would play with a little tennis ball while his mom worked. My, how you've grown, boy." Jamal lowered his eyes, clearly embarrassed. "My mom, she passed away 3 years ago, Mrs. Roberts." Silence filled the gym. Even Michael, with all his arrogance, felt a pang in his chest. "I'm so sorry, son," Mrs. Roberts said, her eyes glistening. "Your mother was a hard-working, honest woman, and how she talked about you, she said you'd be a great player just like your father." "Like my father?" Jamal looked up, surprised. "You didn't know? Your father was a professional player. Marcus Johnson, little Marcus. He played for the city team before you were born. He was a rising star. People said he'd go to the big clubs." Jamal was stunned. He'd never known his father, who had left them when he was just a baby. "What happened to him?" Jamal asked. Mrs. Roberts hesitated before answering. "He got hurt, went to work in construction to support the family, had an accident and could never play again." The revelation hit Jamal like a bombshell. So that's why his mother always looked sad when she saw him playing with a ball. Michael, who had listened to the whole conversation, felt something strange in his chest. For the first time, he looked at Jamal not as an intruder, but as a boy carrying a painful past. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, back to the story. But his arrogance was still stronger than any sense of compassion. "Very touching family story," Michael said sarcastically, "but that changes nothing. You put on quite a show, but real basketball is something else. It's discipline, it's training, it's teamwork." Michael looked at him seriously. "You want to bet?" "Bet what?" "If I can get your team to win the state championship, you'll give other kids like me a chance. You'll open the doors of this gym to those who can't afford a private academy." Michael laughed. "And if you don't, I'll leave and never come back." Mrs. Roberts touched her son's arm. "Michael, let the boy train with the team. It won't hurt." "No, Mom. I'm the coach here, and I decide who trains and who doesn't." Jamal picked up his flat basketball and started heading for the exit. "Wait," said Michael. "You can come to practice, but as an assistant. You'll fetch water, put away equipment, that kind of thing, and stay out of the drills." Jamal nodded, grateful for the opportunity. That same afternoon, Jason Williams, Michael's assistant coach, approached him after practice. "Coach, can I say something?" "Go ahead." "That kid, I've never seen anything like it. The way he handles the ball is unreal. He's just some inner city kid messing around, Jason. When it's a real game and the pressure's on, he'll crumble." "But coach, enough. I don't want to hear another word about it." Jason walked away, but he couldn't get Jamal out of his head. There was something special about that boy, something the coach refused to see. That night, Jason decided to follow Jamal when he left the gym. He wanted to understand how a poor kid had developed such incredible skills. Jamal took a bus and got off in an inner-city neighborhood. Jason trailed him discreetly through the narrow streets until they reached an abandoned court, lit only by 2 candles Jamal had placed in the corners. For 2 hours, Jason watched Jamal practice alone. The boy drilled free throws, complex dribbles, 3-point shots. He repeated each move dozens of times, with a determination that left Jason in awe. When Jamal finally stopped, Jason stepped forward. "You train here every night?" Jamal startled but relaxed when he saw it was Jason. "Since I was 10, Jamal replied, When my mom got me a basketball from a thrift store. Why don't you practice during the day? During the day I work. I sell candy at the downtown traffic light to help my grandma with bills. Jason felt a lump in his throat. Here was a boy who worked all day and still found the energy to train alone in the dark. And how'd you learn those moves? Jamal smiled shyly. My mom had some old VHS tapes of games. I watched them over and over trying to memorize the plays. There was a player named Little Marcus. They said he was really good. Jason understood. Jamal was trying to connect with the father he'd never known through basketball. Jamal, I want to help you. How? I'll convince Coach Michael to give you a real shot on the team. Jamal shook his head. He'll never accept me. To him, I'm just some poor kid who shouldn't be there. Leave it to me, I've got an idea. The next day, Jason arrived early at the gym with an old video camera. When Jamal showed up for his assistant duties, Jason asked him to demonstrate some moves. He recorded Jamal pulling off impossible dribbles, shots from crazy angles, moves that seemed to defy physics. Then he edited the footage and posted it online with the caption, "The future of American basketball trains on an abandoned court." Within hours, the video had thousands of views. Comments poured in from former pro players, coaches from other states, even scouts from teams in New York. Michael walked into the gym that afternoon to find his phone blowing up with messages. Jason, what's this about you posting a video of the kid? Coach, look at the reaction. Important people want to meet Jamal. Michael watched the video with growing anger. He wasn't prepared for all that attention, especially because he had publicly underestimated Jamal. You disrespected me, Jason. I'm the one who runs this team, not you. But coach, you're fired. Grab your things and get out. Jason tried to argue, but Michael wouldn't budge. He gathered his belongings and left the gym, but not before whispering to Jamal, "Don't give up. You have a gift, and no one can take that from you." With Jason gone, Michael banned Jamal from touching any basketball during practice. The boy was treated like an errand boy, carrying water, mopping the floor, organizing equipment. But the players had seen what Jamal could do, especially Tyler, who couldn't forget the humiliation he'd suffered during the free throw contest. "Jamal!" Tyler called after practice. "Can you teach me that dribble you did yesterday?" Jamal looked around, making sure Michael wasn't nearby. "I don't know if that's a good idea. Please, I've never seen anything like it." Reluctantly, Jamal picked up a ball and showed him the move. Within minutes, Tyler was trying to replicate it with little success. "It's harder than it looks," Tyler admitted, impressed. "Takes time to get the hang of it," Jamal replied. In the following days, other players secretly started approaching Jamal. Marcus wanted to learn three-point shots. Brandon wanted to master under-the-leg passes. DeAndre was fascinated by how Jamal changed direction. Despite all the humiliation he endured, Jamal couldn't refuse helping the boys. He taught them patiently, always out of Michael's sight. The team visibly improved. Passes became sharper, dribbles more elaborate, shots more accurate. Michael didn't understand what was happening, but was pleased with the progress. Then one day during practice, Michael caught Jamal teaching Marcus a move. "What's going on here?" Marcus quickly spoke up. "I was just asking about you," Michael pointed at Jamal. "Didn't I tell you to stay out of training?" "He was just helping me, coach," Marcus tried to defend. "Quiet. Jamal, you're forbidden from talking to the players. One word to them, and you're out for good." Jamal lowered his head and silently agreed. But the players didn't forget what they'd learned. They kept practicing the moves Jamal had taught them, and the team's level rose even higher. A week before the state championship began, an elderly woman appeared at the gym door. Jamal, who was sweeping the court, recognized her immediately. "Grandma Pearl, what are you doing here?" Pearl Johnson, Jamal's grandmother, walked in slowly, leaning on a cane. "Little Jamal, my grandson, I came to talk to this coach." Jamal panicked. "No, Grandma, you can't be here. I could lose my chance." "What chance? You told me you're just carrying water and mopping floors. That's no chance for anyone." Michael, who had overheard, approached. "Are you related to Jamal?" "I'm his grandmother, and I came to ask for an opportunity for my grandson." "Ma'am, Jamal has an opportunity. He works here, earns an honest wage." "Working as a janitor isn't the opportunity I'm talking about," Pearl said firmly. My grandson has talent for basketball. Everyone's seen it. Talent isn't everything, ma'am. Basketball is discipline, dedication. You think my grandson lacks dedication? Pearl interrupted. He trains every night on an abandoned court by candlelight, works mornings selling candy at the downtown traffic light to help me with my medicine, comes here in the afternoon to be humiliated, and at night he still finds the strength to train. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. Michael felt a growing discomfort. He didn't like being challenged, especially by an elderly woman. Listen here, ma'am, I'm the coach. I decide who plays and who doesn't. Your grandson can keep working here, but he'll never wear my team's jersey. Pearl turned red with indignation. Your team? Have you forgotten who pays the bills here? It's Mrs. Roberts. Mrs. Roberts is my mother, and she trusts my decisions. Then let's see if she agrees with how you're treating a child. Pearl marched toward the office where Mrs. Roberts handled the gym's administration. Jamal tried to stop her, but she was determined. Mrs. Roberts, Pearl called, knocking on the door. Come in, Pearl. So good to see you here. The two women had known each other since Faith, Jamal's mother, worked at the gym. Mrs. Roberts, I need to talk to you about my grandson. That talented boy. I saw him playing the other day. He's impressive. He is, but your son won't give him a chance on the team. Mrs. Roberts sighed. Michael has always been stubborn since he was little, but he's a good coach. He may be a good coach, but as a person, he leaves a lot to be desired. At that moment, Michael stormed into the office, irritated. Mom, this woman is disrupting things. Michael, sit down, Mrs. Roberts said firmly. We're going to talk. I don't have time for this. I have a team to train. Sit, she repeated, this time with authority. Michael reluctantly obeyed. Pearl, explain Jamal's situation to my son. Pearl told the whole story. The mother who worked hard, the father who abandoned the family, the poverty, the work at the traffic light, the late-night training on the abandoned court. And even so, Pearl concluded, my grandson has never been rude, never talked back, never disrespected anyone, unlike the treatment he gets here. Mrs. Roberts looked at her son with disappointment. Michael, I didn't raise you to be like this. Mom, you don't understand basketball. Talent isn't everything. You need heart, Mrs. Roberts interrupted. And from what I see, you're the one who's heartless here. Silence filled the office. Michael felt the weight of the two women's stares. Listen carefully, son, Mrs. Roberts continued. This gym was built to give boys in our city an opportunity, not to feed a coach's ego. Mom, I'm not finished. Jamal is joining the starting lineup, and if you don't agree, you can find another place to train your team. Michael turned pale. Losing the gym would mean losing everything. But Mom, the state championship starts next week. We can't change the lineup now. Then you have a week to get used to the idea. Pearl stood up, satisfied. Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. You've always been a fair woman. When they left the office, they found Jamal waiting outside, visibly nervous. Grandma, what happened? You're playing in the starting lineup, my boy. Jamal couldn't believe it. Really? Really? Now train hard. You've got a lot to prove. But Jamal's happiness didn't last long. In the following practices, Michael made sure to make the boy's life miserable. He made him run more than the others, scolded him for every little mistake, criticized every move. Jamal, you're too slow. Run faster. Jamal, that pass was terrible. You want the team to lose because of you? Jamal, pay attention. You look like you're just strolling around. The other players noticed the targeting and grew uncomfortable. Tyler, who had grown closer to Jamal in recent weeks, tried to intervene. Coach, Jamal's really trying. You don't have to be so hard on him. Tyler, you worry about your own game and let me handle my team. Michael snapped back aggressively. Marcus also tried to defend Jamal. Coach, maybe we should focus on teamwork instead of... Marcus, 10 more laps around the court to learn when to keep quiet. The players quickly realized that standing up for Jamal meant punishment for them too, but that didn't lessen their admiration for the boy's talent. On the eve of the first game of the state championship, Michael called Jamal aside for a private talk. Listen up, kid. You're only playing because my mom made me, but at the first mistake, the first slip-up, you're out. For good. Jamal nodded silently. And one more thing, you're not starting. You'll be on the bench and only come in if I say so. Yes, sir. And no showboating. Basketball's a team sport. If you try to show off, your dream ends here. Jamal agreed, even though he knew Michael was setting up obstacles to sabotage him. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us newcomers out. Now back to the story. The first game of the championship arrived. The gym was packed with fans eager to see the team that had gone viral because of Jamal's video. Their opponents were tough, a team from New York with tall, experienced players. Right from the start, it was clear this would be a hard-fought game. Michael stuck with his usual starting lineup, leaving Jamal on the bench. The boy watched anxiously as his team was quickly overpowered. By halftime, Michael's team was down by 15 points. The players returned to the locker room with their heads low. "You're playing terribly," Michael shouted. "Where's the fight? Where's the will to win?" Tyler glanced at Jamal, who stayed quiet in the corner. "Coach, what if we put Jamal in?" "Jamal's not ready for that kind of responsibility," Michael shot back. "But coach, we're losing. What's the harm in trying?" Michael looked around and saw all the players waiting for his answer. "I decide the starting lineup. Jamal stays on the bench." The second half started even worse. The deficit grew to 20 points. The crowd began booing, and some parents got up to leave. That's when Mrs. Roberts came down from the stands and marched straight to the bench. "Michael, put Jamal in. Mom, stay out of this. Put Jamal in, or I'll tell the ref our team forfeits." Michael looked around. The whole crowd was watching. He had no choice. "Jamal, you're in for Brandon." Jamal stood up, trembling. This was his first real chance with the team. When he stepped onto the court, murmurs spread through the stands. Many knew his story from social media and were curious to see him play. At first, Jamal just tried to adjust to the game's pace, passing to teammates, guarding his man, doing the basics. But when Tyler lost the ball and it rolled loose, Jamal sprinted, grabbed it, dribbled past two defenders, went between a third player's legs, and sank a three-pointer that sent the gym into a frenzy. The gap narrowed to 17. On the next play, Jamal stole the ball at half-court and drove in for a spectacular layup, cutting the lead even more. Michael watched nervously from the bench. He didn't want Jamal to shine, but he couldn't deny the boy was saving the game. In just 10 minutes of Jamal on the court, the team managed to cut the deficit to just 5 points. The gym was electric. But then Jamal committed an unnecessary foul, trying to steal a ball that was well defended. Michael seized the opportunity. "Jamal out! Brandon back in the game!" Jamal looked surprised. "But coach, we're almost tied. I said get out." Jamal had no choice but to obey. He returned to the bench as the crowd booed Michael's decision. Without Jamal on the floor, the team struggled again. The gap widened once more and they lost the game by 12 points. In the locker room, the mood was tense. The players knew they could have won if Jamal had played longer. "Why did you take Jamal out, coach?" Tyler asked bravely. "Because he was showboating instead of playing as a team. But we were gaining momentum. The crowd was fired up." "Tyler, are you questioning my authority?" "No, coach. I just want to understand." "There's nothing to understand." Jamal made a mistake, so he sat. End of discussion. But it wasn't the end for the players. They knew Jamal could make a difference in the championship, but Michael was determined to keep him benched. That night, Jamal went home disheartened. His grandmother was waiting in the living room, eager to hear about the game. "How did it go, grandson?" "We lost, Grandma. But did you play?" "Only about 10 minutes." Pearl saw the sadness in her grandson's eyes. "The coach doesn't want to give you a chance, does he?" Jamal nodded. "He only put me in because Mrs. Roberts made him, and he pulled me at the first opportunity." "Don't give up, little Jamal. Your time will come." "I don't know, Grandma. Maybe I'm just not good enough." "Good enough? Boy, you're the most talented player I've ever seen in my life. The problem isn't you, it's that prideful coach." Jamal smiled, grateful for his grandmother's support. "Thanks, Grandma. Tomorrow, you go back there and show everyone what you're made of. Understood?" Understood. But proving himself wouldn't be easy. Michael was more determined than ever to keep Jamal out of the big games. In the second game of the championship, against a supposedly weaker opponent, Michael once again left Jamal on the bench for almost the entire game. The team won by a narrow margin, but the performance was shaky. The players were unsure, missing easy passes and blowing simple shots. "At least we won," Michael said in the locker room, trying to sound optimistic, but he knew the team wasn't playing well. Deep down, he suspected Jamal's absence was affecting the others' morale. After the game, Marcus caught up with Jamal outside the gym. "Jamal, can I talk to you?" "Sure." "Man, the team isn't the same without you on the court. We all know it." Jamal was taken aback by his teammates' honesty. "But Coach Michael makes the calls." "Coach is wrong, Jamal, and I think the other guys feel the same way." "Don't say that, Marcus. You could get in trouble." "We're already in trouble. If we keep playing like this, we'll be out in the first round." Jamal didn't know how to respond. He was torn between wanting to play and fearing he'd cause more problems for his teammates. "Marcus, just promise me one thing. Don't do anything that could hurt you guys." "Jamal, you don't get it. Without you, we're the ones getting hurt." That night, Marcus had an idea. He talked to Tyler, who talked to Brandon, who talked to DeAndre. Soon, the entire starting lineup was in on the plan. The next day, before practice, the five of them went to Mrs. Roberts' office. "Mrs. Roberts, can we talk to you?" "Of course, boys. What's going on?" Tyler, as captain, spoke up. "It's about Jamal. We think he should be playing more." "I agree with you. But that's the coach's decision." "But Mrs. Roberts, with all due respect to Coach Michael, he's letting pride get in the way of the team." Mrs. Roberts sighed. She had also noticed something was wrong. "What do you want me to do?" "Talk to him. The team plays much better when Jamal is on the court. And if he doesn't listen to me?" The boys exchanged glances before Tyler answered. "Then maybe we'll have to take drastic action." "What action?" "We won't play the next game if Jamal isn't in the starting lineup." Mrs. Roberts was shocked. "You can't do that. That's a boycott." "It's not a boycott, Mrs. Roberts. It's justice. Jamal deserves a real chance. Let me talk to Michael first. You might be stirring up a lot of trouble." The boys agreed to wait, but made it clear they were determined to support Jamal. When Michael arrived at the gym, Mrs. Roberts called him aside for a private talk. "Michael, I need to talk to you about the team." "What about the team, Mom?" "The boys came to see me. They want Jamal in the starting lineup." Michael was furious. "They rebelled against me? How dare they?" "They didn't rebel. They just voiced their opinion." "Mom, I'm the coach. I decide who plays and who doesn't." "Michael, for heaven's sake, put your pride aside. Jamal can help the team." "Jamal is an inexperienced kid who'll choke under pressure." "How can you be so sure? You've barely given him a chance to show what he can do." Michael stood up, irritated. "Mom, if you keep interfering with my coaching decisions, I'll walk out of this gym. Then go, because I won't stand by and watch you waste that boy's talent out of pure stubbornness." The argument grew even more heated. Mother and son shouted at each other for the first time in years. In the end, Michael stormed out, slamming the door, leaving Mrs. Roberts worried and sad. Outside the office, Jamal had heard everything. He was devastated. He didn't want to be the cause of conflict between the people who had helped him. That afternoon, he went to see Mrs. Roberts. "Mrs. Roberts, I don't want any more trouble. I quit the team." "What do you mean, Jamal?" "I heard your argument with your son. I don't want to be the reason for a family fight." Mrs. Roberts took the boy's hands. "Jamal, my dear, you're not the reason for any fight. You're a blessing. The problem is my son has forgotten what really matters in sports. Even so, I think it's better if I leave." "And give up on your dreams? Never. Your mother didn't raise you to be a coward." Mrs. Roberts' words struck deep in Jamal's heart. She was right. His mother had worked hard so he could have opportunities she never had. "But what if Coach Michael leaves? Then we'll find another coach, but we won't let you give up." Jamal left the gym more confused than ever. On one hand, he wanted to chase his dream of playing basketball. On the other, he didn't want to ruin anyone's life. That night, he did something he hadn't done in a long time. He went to the cemetery to visit his mother's grave. "Hi, Mom. I know it's been a while since I came here. It's just... everything's so complicated." Jamal told the headstone the whole situation. The chance with the team, Michael's resistance, his teammates' support, the conflict with Mrs. Roberts. "I don't know what to do, Mom. You always told me not to give up on my dreams, but you also said not to cause trouble for anyone. How do I balance both?" The wind rustled the cemetery trees, and Jamal imagined it was his mother trying to answer. "I think you tell me to follow my heart, right? And my heart says I have to try. I have to fight for this opportunity. It might be the only one I ever get." When he got home, Jamal had made up his mind. He wasn't giving up. "I was going to prove to Michael and everyone else that I deserved to be on that team." The next day, he arrived early at the gym and looked for Michael. "Coach, can I talk to you?" Michael looked at him with disdain. "What do you want?" "I want a chance to prove I can help the team." "You already had your chance and blew it." "It was only 10 minutes, coach. Let me play a full game. If I don't make a difference, I'll leave the team and never come back." Michael thought for a moment. He was being pressured from all sides. His mother, the players, even some parents were questioning his decisions. "A full game?" "Yes. A real opportunity. And if you mess up, you'll accept leaving?" "I will." Michael smirked maliciously. He'd take the bet but do everything to make Jamal fail. "Fine. Next game, you're starting. But if the team loses because of you, you're out for good." Jamal nodded, even though he knew Michael was setting a trap. The third game of the championship would be against the current state champions, a nearly unbeatable opponent, perfect for Michael's plans. When he announced Jamal would start, the other players were thrilled. Finally, they'd have the teammate who could make a difference. "Thanks, coach," said Tyler. "Now we can really play our best basketball." But Michael wasn't happy. He was tense, rooting against his own team. The night before the game, Jamal barely slept. He knew this was his big chance, maybe the only one he'd ever get. Early in the morning, he went to the abandoned court where he trained alone. He wanted to make sure he was ready for the biggest challenge of his life. But when he got there, he found a surprise. Jason, the former assistant coach, was waiting for him. "Jason, what are you doing here?" "I came to help you prepare for today's game." "How did you know?" "I have my connections, and I know this game is crucial for you." Jason had brought a new ball and some cones for drills. For 2 hours, they worked on specific moves, game strategies, and high-pressure situations. "Remember, Jamal, basketball isn't just about individual talent, it's about smarts, reading the game, knowing when to pass and when to shoot." "I know, Jason, but I'm nervous." "It's normal to be nervous, but use that to your advantage. Let it make you more alert, more focused." When they finished training, Jason hugged Jamal. "You're gonna kill it today, and no matter what Michael does to trip you up, you show everyone what you're made of." Jamal felt more confident. Having Jason's support was like having a father rooting for him. That afternoon, when he arrived at the gym for the game, Jamal found a crowd in the stands. His story had spread through the city, and many people wanted to see the poor kid who promised to revolutionize local basketball. Mrs. Roberts came to greet him before the game. "Jamal, today's your day. Show everyone what our family is capable of." Jamal found the phrase, "our family," odd, but was moved by her kindness. In the locker room, his teammates gathered around him. "Jamal, no matter what happens today, know you've already earned our respect," said Tyler. "It's true," added Marcus. "You taught us talent doesn't have an address." Jamal felt his eyes well up. He'd never felt so supported in his life. "Thanks, guys, let's play our best game." When they stepped onto the court, the gym erupted in applause. Jamal looked into the stands and saw his grandma Pearl in the front row, wearing a makeshift shirt with his name. The opponent was truly strong, tall, experienced, well-trained players, the team that had won the last 3 state championships. The game began, and Jamal immediately felt the difference in pace. It was far more intense than anything he'd faced before. In the first few minutes, he made some mistakes. Lost 2 balls, missed an easy shot, committed an unnecessary foul. Michael smiled from the bench. His plan was working. But then Jamal remembered Jason's advice. He took a deep breath, focused, and started reading the game better. On the first play, he got right, a 3-pointer after a spectacular dribble. The crowd went wild. Jamal felt his confidence returning. From then on, it was a show. He made passes no one expected, shots from impossible positions, dribbles that left opponents lost. By halftime, against all odds, Jamal's team was tied with the champions. In the locker room, Michael didn't know what to say. He couldn't criticize Jamal, who was playing flawlessly. But he didn't want to praise him either. "Keep it up in the second half," he said, without singling anyone out. Mrs. Roberts walked into the locker room, something she never did. "Boys, you're playing the best basketball I've ever seen in this gym. Keep it up and the win will be ours." Jamal felt on top of the world. He was finally proving his worth. The second half started even more intense. The opponents, surprised by the resistance, began playing rougher, with harder fouls. Jamal took a beating but didn't complain. He kept playing, kept fighting. With 5 minutes left, Jamal's team was up by 3 points. The crowd was ecstatic. Then Jamal took a hard foul that left him on the ground for a few seconds. When he got up, he was limping. Michael saw the opportunity he'd been waiting for. "Jamal, you're hurt. Come out." "No, coach." "I'm fine. I said come out." Jamal looked at his teammates who were panicking at the thought of losing him in the final minutes. "Coach, please, just 5 more minutes." "No, Marcus, you're in for him." The crowd booed the decision furiously. Shouts of "let him play" echoed through the gym. But Jamal had to obey. He limped off to the bench, tears of frustration streaming down his face. Without Jamal, the team fell apart in the final minutes. They lost by 8 points in a game they'd practically won. The locker room was tomb silent. Everyone knew victory had slipped away because of Michael's questionable call. "Jamal was fine, coach," Tyler said bravely. "He could have kept playing. I'm the coach. I decide when a player's hurt." But he said he was okay. "And you believe him over me?" Tyler didn't answer, but his silence spoke volumes. Jamal was devastated. He'd played his best game, yet it still wasn't enough for Michael. As he left the gym, he found Jason waiting for him. "Jamal, you played fantastic today." But we lost, Jason." "You didn't lose. You proved you can play at the highest level. Everyone saw it. But Coach Michael will never give me another chance." "Maybe he won't have to." Jamal didn't understand what Jason meant, but he'd find out soon. The next morning, Jamal was woken by his grandma, who was overjoyed. "Jamal, wake up. Someone's here to see you." Baffled, Jamal got up and went to the living room. There stood a man he didn't know, wearing a jacket from a professional team. "Jamal, I'm Terrell Jackson, scout for the Chicago youth team. I watched your game yesterday and wanted to talk." Jamal was speechless. "With me?" "Yes. You've got exceptional talent. We'd like to test you with our team in New York." Pearl squeezed her grandson's hand, emotional. "Is this real, young man?" "Absolutely, ma'am. Jamal has the potential to go far in basketball. But what about his team here?" "Well, from what I see, the team here isn't making the most of your talent." Jamal thought of Michael, his teammates, and Mrs. Roberts. "Would it be fair to walk away now?" "Can I think about it for a bit?" "Of course, but don't take too long. This opportunity might not come again." After the scout left, Jamal stayed silent, lost in thought. "What do you think, Grandma?" "I think it's the opportunity of a lifetime, my grandson, but the decision is yours." Jamal spent the whole day reflecting. In the afternoon, he went to the gym, where he found his teammates practicing. "Jamal," Tyler called out, "did you hear what happened? There's a scout interested in you." "Is that true?" "Yeah, he came looking for me this morning." The boys were both excited and sad. Excited for their friend's opportunity, but sad at the thought of losing him. "So, are you going to take it?" Marcus asked. "I don't know. I don't want to leave you all behind." "Jamal, this is your shot at going pro," Brandon said. "If you don't take it, you'll regret it for the rest of your life." "But what about the team?" "The team will be fine, and we'll be rooting for you to make the US national team." Jamal was moved by his friend's support. Just then, Michael walked into the gym. "What's going on here? Why aren't you practicing?" "Coach, a scout came for Jamal," Tyler explained. Michael turned pale. "A scout?" "Yeah, from Chicago. They want to take Jamal to New York." Michael felt like he'd been punched in the gut. Suddenly, he realized he might lose Jamal for good. "Jamal, can I talk to you?" Jamal approached cautiously. "Listen, Jamal, I know I haven't been easy on you, but it's because I want you to become a complete player." Jamal stayed silent. "If you stay here, I promise you'll be in the starting lineup for every game." "Why the change of heart, coach?" Michael hesitated before answering. Because you've proven you deserve the chance." Jamal looked at the man who had humiliated him so many times and felt more pity than anger. "Thanks for the offer, coach, but I think my path lies somewhere else." "Jamal, don't go. You could mean so much to this team." "I always wanted to mean something to this team, coach, but you never let me." Michael hung his head, ashamed. I made mistakes." "Yeah, you did, but now it's too late." Jamal said goodbye to his teammates, promising to stay in touch and cheer for them in the rest of the state championship. As he left the gym, he ran into Mrs. Roberts. "Jamal, I heard about the offer from Chicago." "Yeah, Mrs. Roberts, I'm going to accept." "I'm happy for you, son. You deserve this opportunity. Thank you for everything. You've been like a grandma to me." Mrs. Roberts hugged him, tears in her eyes. "You're going to shine, Jamal, I'm sure of it." That night, Jamal called Jason to share the news. "Jason, can you believe it? I'm getting a shot with a pro team." "I sure can, Jamal. You deserve this and more. Thanks for believing in me when no one else did. I just recognized your talent. The rest was all you." Jamal hung up, overwhelmed. Finally, his dreams were coming true. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out as we're just starting. Now back to the story. 2 weeks later, Jamal was in New York, trying out for Chicago. The difference in facilities was staggering. Modern courts, top-tier equipment, specialized coaches. But what impressed Jamal most was the skill of the other players. They were all talented, all with stories of overcoming odds just like his. During the tryouts, Jamal showed everything he had. The coaches were impressed not only by his talent, but also by his humility and determination. "Jamal, you made it," said the head coach after a week of evaluations. "We want you to be part of our youth squad." Jamal could hardly believe it. He immediately called his grandmother. "Grandma, I did it. I got in." "Congratulations, my grandson. Your mother would be so proud. Now I can give you a better life, Grandma." "Don't worry about me, Jamal. You focus on your basketball and your studies." The club offered Jamal a full scholarship, including housing, meals, and school supplies. It was a dream come true. In his first months in New York, Jamal missed home terribly, but little by little he adjusted and made new friends. His growth as a player was remarkable. In no time, he became one of the standout players on the youth team. News of Jamal's success reached his hometown. Michael's team, now without its star player, had been eliminated in the first round of the state championship. Some of Jamal's old teammates earned scholarships to other schools, inspired by his example. Tyler went to a private school in a neighboring town. Marcus got a spot at a technical school. Brandon started giving basketball lessons to kids. As for Michael, he was fired from the gym after the early elimination in the championship. Mrs. Roberts didn't renew his contract, citing incompatibility of methods. In his place, she hired Jason as the new coach. His first project was to create a free training academy for underprivileged kids, exactly what Jamal had once dreamed of. 2 years later, Jamal was already playing for Chicago's starting lineup and was considered one of the biggest rising stars in American basketball. During a visit to his hometown, he was welcomed as a hero. The mayor declared the day of his arrival Municipal Basketball Day. Jamal made sure to visit the gym where it all began. Mrs. Roberts, now 80, was there to greet him. "Jamal, my dear boy." They hugged, both emotional. "How's the academy doing, Mrs. Roberts?" "It's going great. Jason is an excellent coach, and we have over 100 kids enrolled. And it's free for all of them." "Completely free, just like you dreamed." Jamal smiled, satisfied. His success was creating opportunities for other kids. "Mrs. Roberts, I want to make a donation to the academy." "Jamal, you don't have to." "I want to. It's my way of giving back for everything you did for me." During his visit, Jamal also gave a talk to the kids at the academy. "Boys and girls, you can achieve any dream no matter where you come from. What matters is never giving up and always working hard." A little girl raised her hand. "Jamal, were you ever poor like us?" Jamal smiled. "I was. My family couldn't even afford sneakers, but that didn't stop me from dreaming. And now you're rich? Now I have enough to live well and help others." But the most important thing is, I'm living my dream of playing basketball. After the talk, Jamal learned that Michael was working as a sales clerk at a downtown sporting goods store. He decided to look for him. When he walked into the store, Michael was visibly uncomfortable. Jamal, what a surprise. Hi, Coach Michael. I saw in the papers you're doing really well. I am. Thank you. They stood in silence for a few seconds before Michael stepped closer. Jamal, I want to apologize. Jamal was stunned. What? I was unfair to you. I let pride speak louder than reason. You deserved a chance from day one. Jamal was moved. He never expected an apology from Michael. It's okay, Coach. What matters is everything worked out in the end. No, Jamal, it's not okay. I could have destroyed your dream out of pure stubbornness, but you didn't, and that made me even stronger. Michael was moved. You're a special kid, Jamal. I hope you go far. Thank you, Coach. As he left the store, Jamal felt at peace. He had completely forgiven Michael and sincerely wished for him to find his own redemption. 3 years later, Jamal was on the U.S. national youth team, preparing for a world championship. In a television interview, the reporter asked about his journey. Jamal, you went from an abandoned court to the U.S. national team. What was the most important moment in that journey? Jamal thought for a moment before answering. I think it was when I learned that talent without perseverance doesn't get you anywhere, and that the people who believe in us are just as important as our own effort. Do you have a message for young athletes just starting out? Never give up on your dreams, no matter how many obstacles come your way, and always remember to pay it forward. Help others achieve their dreams too. When the interview ended, Jamal called his grandma, as he did every week. Hi, Grandma. How are you? Good, my grandson. Just watched your interview on TV. I'm so proud. I'll be back for vacation soon. I can't wait. I have news for you. What news? Jason's training academy is growing so much they're building a new gym. And guess what they're naming it? What? The Faith Johnson Sports Center in honor of your mother. Jamal felt tears welling up. Really, Grandma? Really? It was Mrs. Roberts' idea. She said your mother deserves to be remembered as the woman who raised a champion. Jamal cried with emotion. His mother would be immortalized in the very place where he had fought so hard for a chance. Grandma, I love you so much. I love you too, my grandson, and I know your mother is proud of how far you've come. When he hung up, Jamal looked out the hotel window where the team was staying. In a few days, he'd be playing against the best young players in the world. But more important than that, he was using his success to create opportunities for other kids who, like him, just needed a chance to show their talent. He remembered the barefoot boy who had shown up at the gym with a flat basketball, promising to help the team win. Now, years later, he realized the most important victory hadn't been on any basketball court. The most important victory had been over prejudice, over inequality, over those who believed dreams had a certain address. Jamal smiled and picked up his basketball. He had practice in the morning, and as always, he wanted to give his best, because he'd learned that talent without hard work is just wasted potential, and he wasn't going to waste any of the opportunities life had given him. The next morning, during the team's warm-up, Jamal got an unexpected call. It was Jason. Jamal, I have something amazing to tell you. What is it, Jason? You know that video I made of you years ago? Someone showed it to little Marcus. Jamal was confused. Little Marcus? Who's little Marcus? Your father, Jamal, Marcus Johnson. He saw the video and found out you're his son. Jamal nearly dropped the phone. My father? But he wants to meet you, Jamal. He regrets abandoning the family and wants a chance to talk. Jamal was in shock. After all these years, his father had reappeared. He's okay? He is. Lives in another town, works at an auto repair shop. He never knew you existed, Jamal. What do you mean? Your mother never told him she was pregnant. She found out after he left. Jamal had to sit down. His whole world had just been turned upside down. Jamal, are you there? Yes, Jason. It's a lot to take in at once. I understand. Do you want to meet him? Jamal thought about the anger he'd felt for years after being abandoned, but he also remembered the forgiveness he'd given Michael. "I do, but only after the championship. I need to focus on the game. Of course, he'll wait as long as necessary." When he hung up, Jamal's heart was racing. He was going to meet the father he thought he'd lost forever. During the World Cup, Jamal played like never before. The emotion of knowing he might have a bigger family than he'd imagined inspired him to give his all. The United States reached the finals and faced Spain, the favorites to win. In the decisive game, Jamal had the performance of a lifetime: 25 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. He was named the tournament's MVP. When he received the gold medal, Jamal dedicated the victory to his mother, his grandmother, Mrs. Roberts, Jason, and all the kids at his city's training academy. "This medal isn't just mine," he said in his acceptance speech. "It belongs to everyone who believed in me when I had nothing but a dream." In the days that followed, newspapers worldwide wrote about the young American who had risen from poverty to become a world champion. But for Jamal, the most important victory was yet to come: reuniting with his father. 2 weeks later, Jamal returned to his city. Jason had arranged the meeting at the gym where it all began. When Jamal walked in, he saw a man around 40 with graying hair and calloused hands. His eyes were just like Jamal's. "Jamal?" the man said, his voice trembling. "Dad," Jamal replied, equally emotional. They embraced, crying. Years of separation and hurt healed in a single moment. "Jamal, I'm so sorry. If I'd known you existed..." "It's okay, Dad. What matters is, we're together now. Your mother was an incredible woman. I was too young and made terrible mistakes. She always spoke well of you, said you were a great player." Marcus smiled sadly. "I was, but I let drinking and bad company destroy everything. I lost your mother. I lost the chance to know you. I lost my career. And now I've been clean for 8 years. I work an honest job, live a simple life, and I just want the chance to be the father I should have been from the start." Jamal looked at this man carrying so much regret and saw in him an opportunity for forgiveness and rebuilding. "Dad, we all deserve a second chance. You forgive me?" "I do, and I want you to meet your daughter-in-law." "Daughter-in-law?" Jamal grinned. "Grandma Pearl. She raised me after Mom died. She's the most important woman in my life." That same day, Jamal took Marcus to meet Pearl. The reunion was both emotional and difficult. "You're Marcus?" Pearl asked, skeptical. "Yes, ma'am. I know I have no right to ask for forgiveness, but..." "No, you don't," Pearl cut in. "You left my pregnant daughter." Jamal tried to intervene, but Pearl raised her hand. "Let me finish. You abandoned my daughter, but she never spoke ill of you to this boy. She always said you were a good man who'd lost his way." Marcus hung his head in shame. "If Faith forgave you, then I will too, but you'll have to earn my respect and Jamal's trust." "I'll spend the rest of my life trying, Mrs. Pearl." From that day on, Jamal had a complete family. Marcus moved to the city to be near his son and former mother-in-law. He got a job at the local auto repair shop and started helping Jason at the basketball academy, teaching the kids not just about sports, but about overcoming past mistakes. Jamal continued his meteoric rise in basketball. At 20 years old, he was already playing in the Professional American League and was being considered for the national team. But he never forgot his roots. Every year, he organized a tournament in his hometown, offering scholarships to young talents. Jason's training academy became a nationally recognized center, welcoming kids from various states. The Faith Johnson Sports Center was inaugurated with an emotional ceremony where Jamal made sure to be present. "This court is proof that dreams don't die," Jamal said at the opening. "They turn into opportunities for others." 5 years later, Jamal was on the US national team, preparing for the World Cup. In an interview before the tournament, a reporter asked about his life philosophy. "Jamal, you went from a poor kid to one of the country's top players. What's your secret?" Jamal smiled. "There's no secret. There's hard work, people who believe in you, and the courage to never give up. But the most important thing is always remembering where you came from and using your success to help others get where you are." and your plans for the future. Playing in the World Cup, of course, but afterward, I want to study physical education and return to my city to work with young people. I want to be for other kids what so many people were for me, a chance to turn dreams into reality. The night before the first World Cup game, Jamal made a special call. "Hello, Grandma. Hi, my champion. How are you?" "Good, Grandma. Nervous, but good. Tomorrow, the whole United States will be cheering for you. Grandma, thank you for everything, for raising me, for believing in me, for teaching me that humility and determination matter more than talent." "Jamal, you don't have to thank me. It's been a privilege watching you grow into the man you are. I love you, Grandma. I love you too, my grandson. Your mother would be so proud." "She is proud, Grandma. I'm sure of it." The next day, Jamal stepped onto the court, carrying all the emotion of his journey. On his chest, along with the US national team emblem, he carried the love of a rebuilt family, the gratitude of a transformed community, and the responsibility of being a role model for thousands of kids who dreamed of being like him. When the national anthem played, Jamal looked into the stands and imagined seeing all the people who had been important in his journey. His mother smiling from heaven, his grandmother watching on TV, his father cheering from the auto repair shop, Mrs. Roberts at his gym, Jason at the academy, his old teammates scattered across the country. The game began and Jamal played with the passion of someone who knew he was representing far more than a country. He was representing all the dreams that were almost destroyed by intolerance but survived thanks to love and perseverance. End of story. Now tell us what you thought of this story and where you're following us from. If Jamal's journey moved you, leave your heartfelt words in the comments. Do you believe forgiveness and perseverance can transform any life? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us.